So let's talk about an exercise you can do to promote self-love and self-perspective. So first, if you haven't watched the video I just recorded about self-neglect and the consequences of emotional neglect and of not feeling loved, please do watch it first, because this video is a continuation of that video. So this is the exercise part. Okay, so if this is true for you, that you grew up with emotional neglect, you never felt loved, and if it's true for you that you never had an experience of someone really taking your perspective and getting to know you, this is a good exercise for you. But first to say, I think that learning how to love yourself and other people is a mixture of somehow getting the experience of love, the feeling love, and learning how to behave in love, how to behave with the source from love. Often people with emotional neglect might get an experience of what it is, what love is, or they might read books about how to act in loving kindness. But it's not enough to do either one of those. You need to have the emotional sensations. You need to know what love is, but you also need guidance in how to act upon it. So how do you get an experience of what love is? That might be, no, not the difficult one. I think both are as equal difficult actually. But how do you get an experience of love? Well, either you fall in love, that's a good thing. Fall in love, but then continue to be with the person. Because when you fall in love and then you all just get a idealized sensation of love. So it's not really true love, but it can be. But anyways, when you fall in love, you can get a hint of what it is, what love is, even though it's not really deep in the beginning. So either you know love because you have felt it in a relationship and as an adult, or you have kids on your own. So when you felt love when they were born, even though you never had love or you didn't know love from growing up. Or you can visit different kinds of retreats where you do different kinds of exercises, where you expand your chest and you open up and you work with your heart center, your heart chakra. Or you get help from psychedelics, preferably MDMA, can definitely help you to open up and get the sensation of what is it to truly open up to love, to yourself and to other people. So that's different ways where you can get an experience of what love is, what the feeling of love is. However, it's not enough to just feel it if you never had it before. You also need to learn how to live it, how to act, how to behave as a person with love in you. If you had love growing up, then you both felt the love, you got an experience of it, and you got guided in how to act on love. So then you got both. But as an adult, you didn't. So you need to have an experience of love and you need to learn how to act on it. And just to say again, that's the risk in the healing communities or retreat world or psychedelic world, I would say, if you think that only to get a sensation of openness and love will make you a better person. If you think that, it actually can make you a worse person, I think, because then your ego get all blown up and you think that, yes, I felt love and that's because, and then I must be a better person. But still, if you had neglect, you don't know how to act on it. So that part is very important. So how do you learn how to act on love? Well, I would say that a foundation for love is the experience of someone taking your perspective, someone trying their best to truly, really understand you, to truly, really be patient and understand how you think and why And then also question how you think and why, and to just be loyal to that. That's good parenting. If you didn't have it, you might have had the experience in a relationship. However, if you had emotional neglect, it might be that you perceive that behavior as a threat. You might perceive actually loving behavior, which it is to be really interested in your perspective, to curious, to ask questions, and to question how you think and feel. You might perceive that as a threat when it's actually love, when it's actually that someone cares enough about you that they want to spend time on understanding you, so it's actually love. So it might not be enough that you get an experience of someone else being interested, someone else taking your perspective as an adult, because you have so much traumas around it, or you're so blocked. So again, as I've said in other videos, the key is when you yourself start to take your own perspective. That's the whole key. You can get inspired by other people doing it with you, but that's not the solution, because you still aren't open for it fully if you haven't taken your own perspective first. So that's the practice. So how do you do that? Well, you start to be really curious in everything you feel. Be really curious in everything you think, but not only in a validating way, like, oh, everything is okay, and okay, you feel anxious, and okay, you feel that that person is a piece of shit. That's okay. You're right. That's okay. No, that's not enough. You need to really be curious, but then also to be able to question what you think and what you feel. I would say that's really to take your perspective. Taking your perspective is not to be okay with everything or to validate everything you think or feel. It's to be interested, to be curious, and to ask questions. So why don't you like that person? Or why do you feel uncomfortable around in that context? Why don't you like school? Why don't you like to talk in front of people? Why do you doubt yourself? Do you have a reason to doubt yourself? So not only taking your side, not just 100% taking your side, but that's not taking your perspective. That's denial. That's supporting maybe something bad. That's not protecting you. So taking your own perspective is to really be your friend, your inner voice, like you have someone to talk to all the time, that whatever choices you do or whatever thought, whatever move you want to do, you have an inner voice that asking, okay, so have you thought this through? Or why do you want to do this? Okay, I understand. That's good. But what about that? Have you thought about that? Or why do you want to do it like that? Not to set yourself up, not to making yourself a target or something, but to really promote curiosity, promote an interest, not be critical of yourself. That's not it, but to really get an experience of how questions are out of curiosity. Questions is not to set you up for something. That's a very common experience with people who had neglect and who actually have not had an experience of someone being curious of them. They perceive questions as threats. And so they start to lie, or they start to avoid, or they start to be defensive, etc. So you need to get an experience of how questions is because someone wants to get close to you. And so you can practice that by starting with yourself. To start the adult part of you, ask the wise or the child part of you questions all the time. Validate by asking questions. So that's, I would say, is a lot of practice, takes a lot of practice, and it might stir up a lot of emotions and a lot of resistance, and might also be very difficult to ask questions. You might, try it, but might not come up any questions. But start to do it. Start to take your perspective by being curious instead of defending yourself. So that's a huge difference I want you to learn. To take your perspective is not defending yourself. Taking your perspective is being curious about yourself so that you will feel more loved, feel that someone is interested in you, so that in itself, love in itself, is a self-defense. You know? You don't have to defend yourself as much if you love yourself and if you understand yourself. Someone said that, I think someone said knowledge is intellectual self-defense. So knowledge and love is really self-defense. So that's taking your perspective is about knowledge and love. So again, please practice this. So make sure, try to find a way to get an experience of the feeling of love, the sensation in your body. And so you can be motivated, okay, this is where I'm aiming for. But also at the same time, learn how to live and act in a loving way. And that starts with taking your own perspective by asking curious questions to yourself all the time. And when you've done that work, you have gotten the experience of someone is taking your perspective, which is you, which then allows you to be safe enough to actually take someone else's perspective, to finally let go of your perspective, let go of yourself, let go of your of being occupied with defending yourself, which you actually do when you have self-neglect. You're all the time scared and you're defending yourself all the time. You never let go of your world, of your perspective. And this is true even though you think, well, I'm self-sacrificing and I never think about myself. That's true, but you still never let go of your perspective of the world, which is the world is dangerous and I need to manage it, for example, by self-sacrificing. But if you're safe, if you have practiced self-love and taking your own perspective, you will have the courage to leave your own perspective and totally try to understand someone else's perspective. Totally try to understand how someone else is thinking. And that is to live and act upon love. So then you have both the feeling of love and you act and think about and act and live upon love. And again, that doesn't mean to take someone else's perspective, doesn't mean to, forgive everyone, so to speak, or to not hold someone accountable and to not speak your voice. That's not it. To take someone else's perspective can also be to really understand that someone is not good for you, to understand someone is narcissistic or someone is toxic, and to have love for that flaw, for that problem, and love enough for the problem so that you don't engage in it, so that you can leave the situation and instead seek out situations that are good for you. So please start to practice this if you have emotional neglect in your background, and please leave a comment on how it goes so I know if this is helpful for you or not. So if I will record more videos like this, and I'm curious in how it goes, and I hope to learn from you about this. Okay, so good luck and thank you very much.